7 Jubilee MPs endorsed Eugene Wamalwa to run for Nairobi's gubernatorial race come 2017. Kotu now wants lending rates by commercial banks capped to cushion workers. And 16 people die in Texas, USA after their balloon catches fire and explodes. Good afternoon and many thanks for joining us on the Weekend at 1 on this 31st day of July. My name is Michelle Ngene. The management at Uchumi Supermarket will be vetted and books of accounts audited afresh before the government can release any bailout package. State House spokesman Manoa Esipisu says talks are in top gear for the government to release a possible bailout package of 1.2 billion shillings. Esipisu also says those responsible for the collapse of Uchumi Supermarket will be prosecuted.
No one wants to see the crooks that brought Uchumi into problems not taking responsibility for it. So there has to be a clear path to accountability. Second, that the terms of the cash injection be spelled out in clearer terms. If the government is going to provide a loan, the rates, the applicable interest rates need to be set out clearly at this point. If the government's cash injection will be turned into equity, then those terms also need to be set out clearly. Thirdly, the soundness of Uchumi's turnaround plans need to be tested to answer the question, what is different now? As in, Uchumi has provided some turnaround proposals before, and the cabinet wants a clearer indication of what is new, what is sound, what is tested, what has been tasted in the new proposals presented to it. And finally, the government wants an audit of management at Uchumi to satisfy themselves that Uchumi is led by a sound and competent team. Once those proposals in those terms go back to cabinet will make a decision.
Deputy President William Ruto is at the moment at Heroes High School in Bahati constituency, Nakuru County, for a groundbreaking ceremony of a 70 million Bahati Technical and Vocational Center. Victor Gale now joins us live from Nakuru County with details about this story. Victor, good afternoon. Bring us up to date with the happenings there.
Well, Michelle, the Deputy President William Ruto touched base here a few minutes to 9 a.m. and he proceeded to launching the last mile electricity installation project here in Bahati constituency, Nakuru County. And after that, moved to yet another bigger project of launching a 70 million vocational training institute that is set to be built here in Bahati constituency. Thereafter, there was an interdenominational prayer held at the Heroes High School grounds here in Bahati. And what you can see behind me, Michelle, is just the continuation after the interdenominational project, interdenominational prayer. Now we have a political rally that is ongoing, and we have various leaders from the Jubilee Alliance Party, various leaders from Nakuru County, as well as the governor, Nakuru Town East Member of Parliament David Gikaria, Nakuru Town West Member of Parliament Arama, who has also announced publicly here that he has moved from the Orange Democratic Movement to the Jubilee Alliance Party. And politics has been taking center stage, and we've had a couple of members of Parliament speaking here, as well as leaders from the county. And also another notable face that has just touched base here in Bahati is Robert Asembo, who was the former Vice President of Football Kenya Federation, and at some point had a stint at the Embakasi West seat, and we are waiting to see if there are also going to be some of the people, the information that we are gathering, we are going to have some of the people joining the Jubilee Alliance Party, defecting from other parties, joining the Jubilee Alliance Party. And for more, we are going to be updating you, our viewer, from here in Bahati, back to studio.
All right, thank you very much, Victor Gale there in Nakuru County. Of course, he'll be bringing us more details in subsequent bulletins. Now, the United Republican Party delegates in Mount Kenya East region have been assured that they will have their say in the proposed Jubilee Party and they should have no fear. At a meeting with the URP Party National Secretariat officials in Meru, the party delegates from Embu, Tharaka Nithi and Meru counties had expressed fears that they may be swallowed by dominant parties in the area during the Jubilee Party nominations. Although URP runs vibrant branches in the three counties, TNA and EPK are seen as the dominant political players in Mount Kenya East.
Thank you.
What we have come to conclude is that when the nominations are done fairly, hakuna mtu mwenye atalalamika, na tunaomba ya kwamba the people who are steering this party, especially Jubilee Party, ili tupate wajumbe, ili tupate aspirants na tupate wale watu wenye watachaguliwa, tunaomba iwe free and fair.
There is nobody with a nomination certificate. Party nominations shall be done according to party nomination rules. Rules that are being developed and rules that we have not even put in place. So therefore, those who are moving around, those who are just talking and insinuating that they have certificates are actually not talking the truth. And they are actually doing more harm to the party than they.
And still in politics, Vihiga Governor Moses Akaranga has dismissed the current clamor for Luhya unity, terming it unnecessary. Akaranga says the move was a scheme by some leaders to stay relevant ahead of the 2017 general election. The governor, who was speaking in Kisumu, said he will not be party to such machinations.
But these issues, when people now are going for the general election, that the time they start talking about unity of a particular tribe. No, Luhyas are there. That I don't think that there have been any issues with the Luhyas. Go to a funeral place, and you'll see all Luhyas are together. That funeral has brought them together. So that unity is still there. It's only politicians who normally go into a funeral places and talk about Luhya unities. Otherwise, as Luhyas, we are united. I want to see which Luhya is not united with other Luhyas. We are united.
7 legislators affiliated to the ruling Jubilee coalition have now endorsed Cabinet Secretary for Water Eugene Wamalwa to vie for the Nairobi gubernatorial seat on a Jubilee ticket come 2017. The legislators argue that Wamalwa is best suited to challenge the incumbent Dr. Evans Kidero and clinch the seat compared to other Jubilee aspirants. On his part, Eugene welcomed the endorsement, stating that he is ready to work for the people of Nairobi and deliver the much-awaited development in the capital city. The leaders were speaking after attending a Sunday service at a Kiambu Catholic Church in Kiambu County.
Kuna kiti ambacho tuko nacho kule Nairobi, kiti cha gavana wa Nairobi. Na mnajua wakati huu kiti hicho kiko na upinzani. Tusipojipanga tutapangwa.
Watu wa Kiambu, pahali ambaye kuna kura mingi sana ambayo wanapigia Nairobi. Ukisimama gavana wa Nairobi, sisi watu ya Kiambu tutakuunga mkono, uchunge maslahi yetu huko Nairobi, na sisi tunajua wewe utafanya kazi na njia moja na roho moja.
Pia baada ya kunikaribisha Maji House, nimesikia anataka kunikaribisha Nairobi. Si mnajua alikuwa Nairobi? Na tunaamini alikuwa ameshinda kile kiti, lakini kuna mambo yalitokea. Lakini amenieleza amehama Nairobi, na yeye sasa kuna kitu anatafuta hapa Kiambu, na nafikiri ni maombi yenu na kura zenu ndio zitaamua ile ndoto yake. Na yeye kunikaribisha Nairobi, nataka nimwambie asante. Kwa sasa bado nina kazi ya maji, na tunaenda kuchapa hii kazi kuhakikisha tunaikamilisha kabla ya uchaguzi ujao. Lakini ikifika 2017, Mimi nimeeleza watu haswa kule Western tukiwa na Mheshimiwa Kombo ya kwamba ile gari ambayo tayari Mheshimiwa Uhuru amekabidhiwa ufunguo wiki hii ni basi mpya kabisa. Yeye ndio dereva wetu na kondakta wetu ni William Ruto.
Let's now focus on the education sector, and Majority Leader in the National Assembly, Aden Duale, has dismissed calls for early closure of schools as a way of dealing with school unrest. Duale says that the calls by teachers' unions NAT and KUPPET were misplaced and that the government will not do so. He further accused Sosion of being mischievous, saying matters to do with policy and reforms lie squarely on the hands of the Cabinet Secretary.
Sosion tunamwambia yeye ni kiongozi ya walimu. Yeye hapana waziri wa elimu. There's a big difference, eh? There's a big difference being the Secretary General of KNUT and become the Minister for Education who is vetted by Parliament. So kazi ya Matiangi ni kama waziri wa elimu. Kazi ya Sosion ni kutetea walimu. So he has no role in policy formulation. The Constitution has given the powers to formulate policies to the Minister, the CS for Education, in consultation with stakeholders, parents, teachers. But the person who brings policy formulation to Parliament is the CS for Education. And for now, it's Matiang'i. So tunamwambia wewe marafiki yangu Sosion, ukitaka kuwa waziri, wewe enda kwa Mheshimiwa Uhuru Kenyatta, umuombe akupatie kazi.
Meanwhile, Kigumo legislator Jamlek Kamau is calling for collaboration between school authorities and students to end the current school unrest. He says a country's education system should not be allowed to break down.
We say that our first and top agenda, our first priority is education. Because we can do roads, all right? Tunaweza weka maji kila pahali, tuweke vitu yote, hata rami na mambo yote, stima. Lakini tukisahau maneno ya masomo, tunafanya kazi ya bure. And I want to tell you, in this entire constituency, you are the most important people with regard to matters education. Our children are looking up at you and not anybody else, so that we can make sure that they realize their dreams as well.
Right, you're watching the Weekend at 1. We're glad you're staying with us. Let's take a break now. We'll be back shortly. The Central Organization of Trade Unions, COTU, is alarmed over the high interest rates charged by commercial banks and now wants the institutions tamed. The organization says the government should support a bill seeking to cap interest rates in order to cushion Kenyan workers from high interest rates. COTU's First Assistant Secretary General Ernest Nadome says manageable interest rates are the only way to empower Kenyans and make them successful entrepreneurs.
Who doesn't know what has been happening? The banks, year in, year out, since done the bill of the year 2000, up to now, we have continued suffering. They assured us, the banks assured us that with credit reference bureaus in place, they will now be able to reduce the bank interest. But what has happened? They have zeroed in on the defaulters, made sure defaulters do not get the loans, and those who have very good records, they have continued heaping more and more interest on those. So as Kenyans, and the president needs to listen to us. We know the Jubilee manifesto, when the president wanted to be elected, it is very clear and is explicit in the Jubilee manifesto. One of the commitment, one of the assurance in the Jubilee manifesto was that once they take over power, they will initiate a process of reducing interest rate.
Pressure is still mounting for CORD to pick Kalonzo Musyoka as its presidential flag bearer in the 2017 general election. Chama cha Uzalendo party leader Wavinya Ndeti says the former vice president has a better chance of beating Jubilee's Uhuru Kenyatta if CORD picks him as their candidate. She was speaking after opening a CCU office at Makutano Market, Yatta constituency in Machakos County. Her sentiments come hot on the heels of those of Nairobi Senator Mike Mbuvi Sonko.
Kusema sisi kama chama cha Uzalendo tuna support Kalonzo Musyoka. Kama CORD itaweka Kalonzo Musyoka kama presidential candidate, hapo ndio tutasimama. Kama wamweki, sisi hatutasimama na wao kwa sababu tunataka Kalonzo akuwe president wa Kenya. Sasa ajaribu akuwe president wa nini? Wa Kenya. Kwa hivyo namwambia Wetangula na Raila Odinga, this time Wakamba atuchezi.
Now, a hot air balloon believed to be carrying 16 people caught fire in the air and crashed in central Texas, USA, killing everybody on board. Federal and local authorities say the balloon may have struck power lines when it went down around 7:30 a.m. in pastureland near Lockhart, about 30 miles south of Austin. The area is often used for balloon landings. If investigators confirm 16 people died, the crash will be the most fatal hot air balloon accident in the United States history. The hot air balloon rests on the ground near Lockhart, Texas. Caldwell County Judge Ken Shaw said it looks like the balloon collided with a power line before catching fire and crashing to the ground.
Right about where that white van is, all of a sudden there was a fireball just went up in the air.
What did it sound like?
Well, can't really describe it because I've never heard anything like it before. It wasn't like an explosion. It was kind of like a whoosh, and it just went up. And it fired clear up to about even with where these lines kind of hang down lower. I'd say the fireball was at least that high.
It's exciting when you see them up there and everything. You think that, wow, they're having fun and everything, you know.
All right, so well, that's where we wrap it up on the Weekend at 1. And many thanks for staying with us. My name is Michelle Ngele. Do have a good afternoon.